Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Kaga. So, bit of a special video, two-part video rather for you all, and it's all about the Panzer 58 Mutz. So, yeah, I think I'm a little behind on the bandwagon on this one, and it's partially because I had spent a lot of time in World of Warships and more recently in War Thunder Aviation, particularly moving into realistic battles because I think that's what more people want to watch rather than arcade. Anyway, so I'm a little bit behind on this, getting this particular video up for you all, so hope you don't mind if I cut it down to its core strengths and a particular set of styles of gameplay I like to use with this machine, and then discuss one major weakness I have found in this machine, and then we'll get into some gameplay. Alright, so we'll start talking about it in terms of, well, the gun. We're going to start here because this is quite a nice gun. It's a 90mm cannon, not unlike you get on the Indian Panzer or like a souped up version of what you get on the Pershing. It's got the about 7.5 rounds per minute once you have a full skill crew, and you get the various equipment add-ons. It has a 2.3 second aiming time and 0.36 dispersion values. So it's not the practical side of this gun is if you're allowed to aim it, it is very lethal. That being said, if you can only half aim it, it's not the end of the world. So you can make use of this gun, though it has that typical German weakness of not being as nice firing on the move. You can do it in this machine, but if at all possible, you should position yourself on the battlefield so you don't have to worry about that. Now, I consider this gun a particular strength because while it lacks like the alpha damage of other guns, at tier 8 it has the penetration to get the job done, and is generally speaking, it's just an all-around good gun on this machine. It doesn't have any obvious weaknesses, no just overpowered anything about it. It's just a good performing gun, and because it's a 90mm, the ammunition is, as you can see, cheap as chips. Only 300 credits per standard shot, and only 4,400 credits for the premium APCR ammunition, and only 255 credits for loading up some high explosive shells. And I'm going to talk about the ammo loadout because the penetration is actually quite good, and as the tooltip over here indicates, it can penetrate anything between 159mm of flat armor and 265mm of flat armor. For most targets, this will do the trick, so long as you are aiming for weak spots. And truth be told, that's nothing new. We're a medium tank, yeah? And because of this is such a reliable gun, I've chosen to load out more of the standard ammunition, in this case 39 rounds, only 5 rounds of APCR, and 4 rounds of high explosive in case I run into, anything like a French auto-loading tank from the rear or a piece of artillery, all the standard stuff, right? Standard consumables, fire extinguisher, first aid kit, small repair kit, they all apply. And in terms of equipment, we're going to accentuate everything that we can about this, which is the get the crew performance up, which is going to affect the reload, the aim time, you name it. Get that ventilation, the gun rammer, and gonna outfit an enhanced gun laying drive just to make things a little bit better. Alright. Now, one of the core virtues of this tank is its mobility. And it is actually a fairly mobile tank with specific power just under 17 horsepower per ton. It can really get up and moving places, and with not a blistering top speed, 50 kilometers per hour is quite respectable, and you can move around the battlefield quite nimbly and can either create or exploit opportunities in the enemy formation this way. And that really is its second core virtue, is that mobility. And I think number 3 on the virtues list comes down to and this is kind of a point to talk about here, because it's average in terms of just tank performance, that it's a very versatile tank. That in of itself, while it lacks the special flavor of, like, say, some of the other tier 8 premium tanks here. Ooh, wrong one. Like the Super Pershing, for example, with that amazingly trollish frontal armor, or the nice performance, not great performance, mind you, of the 59 Patton, and it maybe lacks the on-the-move blitz capability of the M46 Patton KR. There's just no situation I found that this tank can't overcome, so long as you're willing to be observant of the enemy's disposition and be willing to shift to address their weaknesses. And I think the one reason why you should really think about picking up this tank, well, in addition to the tier 8 premium tank credit coefficients, so you make a lot of money in this tank, as you'll see in some of the gameplay I have to feature today. This tank is great both solo and in a platoon, and I have to admit, if you can get in a platoon with another Panzer 58 Mutz, or even 2 of them, it is a blast. This is perhaps the quintessential tier 8 premium party tank in my mind, just because it's so versatile that if you have 3 of them on a team working together, it can really change the flow of battle, and you make good credits for your time spent. And I suppose there's another reason you might really want to consider picking up this machine, and that's if you're in the final legs of your grind to the Leopard 1 main battle tank. And that's because it's a premium tank. You just go ahead, you plop your crew in there, bam, you get more experience for the crew. And as I've ground enough crews up on tier 9 and tier 10, it's not fun to do it without these machines. And just look at the crew configurations. One second. Okay, just drop back to the garage here real quick. And you will notice that, pardon me, that all 4 of these vehicles, starting with the Indian Panzer, the Leopard Prototype A, and the Leopard 1 main battle tank, all have the same crew configuration, so you don't need to worry about crew training mismatches or anything like that. So you can really get the fullest out of these 3 non-premium tanks and start really owning the gameplay in them. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. Oh yes, and before I forget, the one critical weakness of this tank can be found in its armor, with 30mm at the side and 40mm at the rear. I'm not certain what the exact armoring of the engine deck is. I imagine it is equally armored to the side. You're really going to want to hide this thing from enemy artillery. This thing, if an artillery piece hits anywhere along the side, anywhere on the rear of the engine deck, even right here at the rear of the tank, and most definitely if it managed to also hit the rear of the turret, you're going to take full damage from that artillery high explosive shell. So be careful. Don't, and I repeat, don't put yourself in artillery hazardous zones. And above all else, don't linger in any given area for too long. It might tempt an artillery player who's paying attention to lob a shell at you and see if RNG pulls your number. Alright, now we can get into some gameplay. So, we have our typical 15 versus 15 match. This is Cliff, yeah? Yeah, it's Cliff. And looking at the team list, I'm sitting there having the grand old visions of Tier 8 Premiumville. Old flashbacks to the hordes of Type 59s, right? Except that, you know, the vehicles in this one, being the 58 Mutz and the Ripper Patton, are not as overpowered as the Type 59 was when it was first introduced. But that's aside. With the mobility of the Mutz, I decided, you know, let's go to this part of the map here, because there's a good chance that we will be uncontested. And if we are uncontested, then we have a great position here to start shelling the enemy as they get caught out in the open between 2 fronts here. And we've already found our first victims, being another Mutz, the now recently added FV4202 key, the new, well, quote-unquote new Tier 8 British premium tank, a Tiger, a T-150, and all kinds of people who are making their way up to the hill. So, right now we're going to sit down, we're going to remove one gun from play, but we're going to take a hit from an APCR shell that the FV fired at us with his 20-pounder gun. Not going to let them get that easy shot into us again. We're going to try to engage one target at a time, the way we really should be doing it. And, well, we're going to start frisking over this Churchill Mark 7. And, you know, make use of the fact that 1, he's slow, 2, he's in the open, and 3, he's broadside onto us. So, 3 reasons added on with the fact that he was the only one that could shoot at us makes a good reason to keep firing and not pull back appreciably. But now that the opportunities of that position are gone, we'll go ahead and start frisking over this enemy Mutz that's got himself caught out with his flank exposed and being vulnerable to being overrun. Put 2 shots into her, trying to find a third one blind. Underestimate the reverse speed of the 58 Mutz. Don't find the shot. And right now, I'm not entirely wanting to engage or to move into a position to better engage that FV, because from that position, he has a very strong hold and he will be firing from cover and coming in and out, playing peekaboo, and I won't have any cover at all from over here, so I'm just a giant damage cushion for him. I'm not really wanting to play ball with that. I go ahead, check the hill again. I see that they managed to pick up the FV, and now I'm starting to look for shots on this IS-6. So, okay, I can't, it doesn't look like I find the shot on there, the buildings or the ridge, and then he moves forward behind another building, check for the E-25, don't see him, okay, check again, look for, see if he's changed the geometry, nope, okay, no shot there, go a little more third person, see that there was that destructible building between him and me, could have taken the shot and picked up the kill, but, oh well, hindsight. Okay, get spotted by the 58 Mutz. I am conscious of the fact that the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger on the enemy team is camping in the back there, behind their cap circle, and I don't linger too long. Okay, poke again from over here now that we've re-stealthed. Take a shot on the enemy Mutz down there in the basin. Pull back as I was spotted. Again, that's because of the Borsig. Gonna pull forward again, see if we can get some more damage on this guy. Ally picks up the kill before we do. We're gonna use the mobility and let the speed get away from us. We take 63 falling damage. Okay, move forward, move forward. And now the penetration on this gun starts showing itself here. We managed to put in a nice shot into the cheek of the IS-3 there. And now the part that I really loved was the fact that right there through the cheek of his turret, managed to squeeze in that shot there. The tank managed to eat one shell out of the E-25, damages the gun, but we're still able, with a fully aimed shot, to pick up that kill. Okay, wow. I love you, tracks. I love you, tracks. I love you, tracks. The tracks eat the shot from the Borsig Waffenträger. I'm going to take a wild guess that that is the 15 centimeter gun that he's using. And don't worry, that wasn't your phone, that was mine. Sorry about that. So we're going to go ahead, try to seize the initiative on him, move up here. And initially I was thinking, let's go ahead, spot him for, or proxy spot him for allies, but take that a little bit too aggressively. You just bounced. Yep, you just bounced with that gun. Okay. Trollish armor, I guess, yeah? So, this was a pretty good result, yeah? Granted, this is with premium time, but 113,000 credits is a pretty good result for what wasn't even like a 10-minute round, yeah? Very good way to make some money. 2,000 experience that goes towards crew training, and when you have a 4-skill crew, yeah, you want all the advantage you can get in training them, because it just starts taking a long time to start driving up the next skills that can make the difference between winning an engagement and losing an engagement, especially for those really sensitive leopards. They're really sensitive cats, you know. So with the Confederate Award, it's no surprise that we did a fair bit of damage, but almost 3,200 damage out of that with 2 kills puts us at about 1,250 base experience. That's a pretty good result there, coming out top of the team lists, edging out that camping tank destroyer. Yes! Win. Well, at least it's a win in my book, you know. Don't want to reward the campers. So, with 16 shots fired the entire match, and 14 hits, with which all of them penetrated, picking up that amount of damage is doing pretty good. We received 6 hits, 3 of them penetrated, and 3 of them didn't. 50%'s pretty darn good, yeah? But with total damage blocked by armor is 885. That massive hit from that Borsig Waffenträger really was eaten up by our tracks, and the other one really did bounce off. I suspect the other bounce was from that Churchill, I guess that's not a surprise. I mean, tier 6 heavy tank with what amounts to a tier 6 medium tank gun. Yeah, it's going to have trouble, especially against that nice, well-sloped, curved geometry on the front of the Mutz. It's got a similar geometry to the Indian Panzer, so it tends to be rather trollish, even though the armor thickness isn't outstanding. So with 1700 assistance damage, we did fairly well this match, and after resupplying all of the consumables, the repairs, and ammunition, we walk out of this match with almost 102,000 credits in pure profit. Oh, I know I'm going to start putting this towards my Type 61. Yay. I'm looking forward to that now. Oh wow, it was actually I take that back when I said it was a 10-minute match. It was only a 6-minute match. Wow. Wow, that was pretty darn fast. Wait, 102,000 credits in 6 minutes? I love this tank. Great credit potential there. So if you haven't already picked up one of these vehicles and you're looking for a good option for making good credits and crew training in the German medium tank lines, really do give this tank a good consideration. It will give you a bunch of good games, and you will, and I do mean this, you will get a better progression through the higher tiers with the way the economy is working out right now, at least in World of Tanks, you know. So thank you for having bared with me for the better part of 22 minutes to this point. I hope this was an educational video for you all. I promise to put up the ace tanker round that I got in the 58 Mutz relatively soon. That will probably be later today, hopefully. I hope that this was a good exposition for this particular tank. Hope it gave you the information that you needed to decide whether or not this is the tank for you. And I hope that this the short little bit of gameplay helps you understand how to do just a little bit better in the 58 Mutz, so that you can really start pulling out the most of your premium vehicle. If you happen to like this video, please consider giving it a like down below. If you haven't already done so, please think about hitting the old subscribe button to stay tuned for upcoming future content, of which is to include more World of Tanks, more World of Warships, and some good old Armored Warfare goodness. In particular, I'm hoping to jump on the old hype wagon for the new Chinese tank dealer that is going to be making his appearance in Armored Warfare, and along with the tier 3 through 8 Chinese main battle tanks that are making their debut into the game, I believe, this week. So please stay tuned to that. Thank you, and good day.